The shape of the morning. Kieran lived in a world of heavy gray slip. Every morning felt like waking up under a mountain of wet stone, where the air was thick with the scent of rain that never fell. The walls of his room were smooth and featureless, offering no grip for a mind trying to climb toward the light. He sat on the edge of his bed, feeling as though he were made of the same leaden clay as the floor beneath him. In the corner stood the molder, a towering, shapeless mass of dark, unformed clay. It didn't speak, but its presence was a constant weight, a shadow that moved only when Kieran stopped looking. It whispered without words, telling him that the gray was all there ever was, and all there would ever be. Kieran looked at the molder and felt his own limbs grow heavier, sinking deeper into the soft, yielding floor. He tried to stand, but the floor reached up to keep him. It was a slow, sticky battle. Each movement required a monumental effort of will, and the molder seemed to grow taller with every sigh Kieran let out. Why bother? The silence seemed to ask. The world outside the gray room felt like a dream he had forgotten how to dream, a place of colors he could no longer name. Then a hairline fracture appeared in the ceiling. Through the crack tumbled a tiny spark, landing softly on the gray expanse. It was Ember. She wasn't made of the heavy, wet clay that Kieran knew. She seemed fired in a kiln, solid and bright, carrying a warmth that smelled of cedar and wood smoke. She stood up, dusting herself off, her presence casting a flickering orange glow against the dull walls. Ember didn't ask Kieran why he was sitting in the dark. She simply walked over and held out a small, palm-sized bird sculpted from brilliant blue clay. It was the first color Kieran had seen in a lifetime. As he reached for it, the warmth from Ember's hands seeped into his own, softening the cold stiffness in his fingers. As his fingers brushed the blue bird, a streak of color transferred to Kieran's skin. It wasn't just a stain, it was a transformation. The heavy, wet feeling in his chest eased just a fraction. He looked at the molder, and for the first time, the shadow didn't seem quite so tall. He realized the molder wasn't a monster. It was just more clay, waiting for a different shape. Ember grabbed Kieran's hand and pulled. It wasn't a forceful yank, but a steady, patient tug. "The clay is soft," she whispered, her voice like the crackle of a cozy fire. "That means it can be changed. You aren't stuck, Kieran. You're just mid-sculpt." Together, they stood against the gravity of the room, their combined light pushing back the gloom. Kieran reached out and grabbed a handful of the heavy gray wall. To his surprise, it yielded. With Ember watching, he began to knead the wall, folding the blue of the bird into the gray. He worked the clay with his thumbs, smoothing out the jagged edges left by the molder. He wasn't just moving anymore, he was creating. Ember moved to the other side of the room, using a small wooden tool to carve patterns into the floor. Where she walked, the clay hardened and turned the color of toasted honey. She wasn't erasing the gray, but she was showing Kieran how to build on top of it, how to use the weight to create something solid and beautiful. Together, they carved a wide window where there had only been a blank wall. Outside, a sun made of yellow glass was rising over a landscape of infinite possibilities. The molder was gone, returned to the earth to be used for something new. Kieran stood by the window with Ember, his skin a mosaic of colors, ready to step out into the morning he had finally learned how to shape. The shape of the morning.